little strange seeing that plane fly straight at the building. Water Street Payphone has become kind of a mystery to me, but for the last few days there've been film crew trucks all over the place, and I guess they filmed something here. They're all gone now. But before the film trucks appeared, all these I guess this is cardboard or something like it. These cardboard sheets were placed on both sides, the left and right, but not the front. Of course, the important thing is that my payphone radio card is there. So if this phone booth makes an appearance in a TV show or something, maybe my radio card will get a cameo. But the thing is, before they put these cardboard sheets on it, there was no graffiti on this thing. So I don't know if this is part of the filming or part of the set. The graffiti, that is. Maybe I'll find out if I ever watch the show. It's called Jigsaw. It's a Netflix thing. So there had been this woman I kept seeing on the train. Suddenly it's like we were sitting right across from each other every single day for, it was like 3 weeks. She gets to work on time. Gets to work just in time, it seems. I get down here early because I have payphones to check in on. But it's interesting to think about the world we live in now. She basically, I found one sliver of information about her, and with that, I got onto that internet thing. And next thing you know, I'm looking at naked pictures of her. Officially, I don't know what she looks like because on the train, she covers herself almost completely. The only thing exposed is her eyes. But there have been definite looks of recognition and acknowledgement that, oh yeah, it's you again. But the naked pictures of her are artistic. She's not a pornographer. And she's a photographer as well, and she writes poetry, and I know all this about her. Even though officially I don't know what she looks like, because in my presence, she's never taken her mask off or her hat. So I see her sometimes. I don't see her as frequently now for whatever reason. But you see somebody like this and you think, well, that's a working stiff. She gets to work on time. She hustles. Maybe she has a career ahead of her. I know now that she's half my age, and this is probably her first job in New York because she's recently out of college, where she got her MFA from an Ivy League school. And I know all this about her without ever saying a word, without her ever taking her mask off. And this is like the Faceless Generation. There's so many people I work with, I don't know what they look like. Sometimes when they take off their mask, somebody takes off their mask, it's like they take off their shirt, take off their pants. It's like they're exposing a private part. I do see her on the subway now or on the platform, I see her naked. You know? For all I know, she sees the same thing with me. Maybe she did her research and figured out who I am. I doubt it. Most people don't really do that kind of thing. Stake out strangers. My fascination has ended. Maybe someday we'll become friends or something. I don't know. I don't know why we would. Some nice jackhammer noise for your early morning. You know, one unintended consequence of me stuffing my cards into these things has been that I block the camera when somebody tears the card off. They often leave behind a chunk that blocks the camera. And that might be a happy turn for some people, because there are people who think these cameras are spying on us. I'm not one of those people, but the real consequence that I just discovered and should have thought of earlier is that I'm blocking the video relay service. And this is a service for the hearing impaired. You would dial a number and then you'd be connected to an interpreter. And what you're supposed to be seeing now is you're supposed to be seeing me, actually, because that camera is supposed to be pointed at me, and you're supposed to be seeing my beautiful face. But you can't, because I blocked it, and that was not I didn't have that in mind when I did this, so I'm going to start placing them off to the side from now on. Someone's taking care of the payphones. I didn't want to make my presence known. That's probably the same guy I talked to last week. Had some fun things to say about those phones, but he was probably just there. He's probably removing my cards. Damn it. Nice to know somebody's taking care of those things, though. For whatever value it brings. This is where I got COVID tested a couple of weeks ago. Wall Street. I mean, I'm going to start putting the cards off to the side, but there's really not the remotest chance in hell anybody's ever going to use one of these things for video relay. Oh, look, the card's on the ground. Still in pretty good shape. This one too is alright, this is the phone that doesn't do anything. Or you have to try real hard. That was not on my list of consequences. Stuff that might happen if I stick my cards on these things. So this one's holding its own. That's the only slot where I could fit one, or where I could secure one. All the others were jammed. I think I'm still on this bus stop up ahead. indeed. The bus stop signs proved to be sturdier than I expected. It's been there for like 3 or 4 days. And here's the other one. This is on Water, approaching Maiden Lane, which is where I can show you what's supposed to happen when you turn on the video relay. And by the way, this isn't supposed to happen. It clearly says in the documentation for these things that the camera is not supposed to be activated at all, or it will never just activate without some connection to another person, or I don't remember exactly what it says now, but come on, work. Yeah, that's what's supposed to happen. Isn't that weird? I mean, really, isn't this just strange? That you can do this on a city street. I'm just going to leave it like that and see if anybody else freaks out about it. When I talk about the woman who, officially I don't know what she looks like, because she's never taken off her face coverings anytime I've seen her in person. It's enough to remind me, not that I needed a reminder, how much we're missing about our fellow man, our fellow humans, the absence of their face. With her, the interesting thing in putting all the pieces together was that she looks like a working stiff, hustles to work every day, gets there on time, very punctual, regular, or almost machine-like in her punctuality. But you take all that away, and if you took off her mask, you'd see that she wears a nose ring, for one thing. And then if you took off her shirt, you'd find she has tattoos all over her right side, and they're pretty elaborate, pretty extravagant tattoos. She also has a pretty elaborate tat on one of her feet, and looks like she had smaller ones all over her body. Just doesn't look like a corporate stiff, you know? She probably doesn't wear the nose ring to work, but most people, though, probably would never pursue this, getting to know a person in this manner. She writes poetry, too, and she's a photographer. She's kind of all over the place creatively. And hey, so am I. But I think she's engaged. I think I saw, she did take one of her gloves off once, and I think I saw a wedding, or an engagement band, or maybe it was a wedding band, I don't know. As I suspected, the dude who was taking care of these phones today got rid of all my cards. I just put this one in just now. But why did he leave all these handsets dangling? Is he making a statement? I don't know why I'd get rid of my cards, but maybe he didn't really look at them. Next time I'm here, maybe I'll ask him. If there's a problem, there probably is. Why wouldn't it be? I'm going to leave the dangling ones where he left them. I'm not going to put cards on all of these. want to draw any attention to myself after all. Not like this, at least.